And so the man who inspired my somewhat questionable choices in movies today is a true snack aficionado. Everyone, we're going to say hi to OGSnackman right after this.
All right, so these are from Canada, from Alberta. It says they're Humpty Dumpty Crunchies. I've had Cheetos before. I would imagine these are similar. Um, on Monday we had some kind of cheese. They weren't cheesy puffs, but tomato puffs from New Zealand. They're okay, but I'm a fan of Cheetos. These kind of smell like they make them in. Do they make these in like peanut oil or something? I'm not sure. But they do party mix, I guess, of this too. That would be interesting. Ringolos. I've had Ringolos, I believe. I liked those. Vegetable oil. Yeah. They smell kind of oil. I'm not really sure what they are to the touch, but let's kick these back and check them out. They look like just regular Cheetos, kind of. I like the initial crunch. They're not super cheesy. Made by Old Dutch, which is actually stuff we can get here. But I've not seen these in America. They're kind of like reminds me of like packaging peanuts, kind of. They don't really have much flavor. I don't know that I'd recommend these. I'd just say get some Cheetos. I do like Crunch Cheese. It's kind of a fancy nickname or a name for these. I do think they are very crunchy but not cheesy. For that reason, I'm gonna actually give these. I'm gonna give these a D. I wouldn't recommend them. I wouldn't get them again. I would get Cheetos, even the generic Cheetos, over these any day. Am I going to eat the rest of the bag? Yeah, probably, because I'm kind of hungry, but this would not be a go-to snack for me. Yeah, so we're going to do some more.
Yes, and so without further ado, I'll bring to you variety streamer, musician, retro gamer, and my brother in snacking, OGSnackman. Now you're unmuted. There we go. What's up, OG?
Not much. Hey, Civic. Thanks for having me here.
Thanks for being here, man. And I had to play that brutal, indictment of the crunchies. That was rough. Was that one of the worst?
No, surprisingly, there's not. I would say there's definitely some worse
some
imitation cheat out there, but yeah, I would say I was kind of being fairly kind to that one.
Should have just had some Cheetos.
Should have just had some Cheetos. I did have they have Cheetos mac and cheese now. I did have that last night.
Designer flavors.
Yeah, it actually was pretty good. So.
And what brought you to Snack Reviews?
So that's a great question. So my wife worked in Skywalk downtown, and she worked at a coffee shop and had to stock snacks for the coffee shop that she worked in. She had to order what she thought might work. And so I was her guinea pig.
What a job. Jeez. Yeah.
I was her guinea pig on trying snacks. So I started out doing Snacks on Grand, which was just the road downtown that I would take her to and from work, and she would just video me and get my reaction so she could review them later. And I ended up just taking off with that, and
I love that.
yeah.
Did any of those videos end up online?
Yes. The first 20 are on my YouTube, or at least they're linked on her old YouTube through a playlist on my channel. So
Amazing. I
those
love
are
that.
those are early days. And then she stopped working there after maybe like a year and a half. So I didn't get I had to find other ways of getting snacks. And I got a little local popularity with some just some people that I knew or they knew, and I would occasionally get people that around town that would ask me to review snacks,
Oh,
but
that's so
nothing
cool.
like publicized. It was just for their own amusement, I think, because I would drive and eat snacks at the same time. It was very uh, a more dangerous part of my life when I started doing that. I no longer drive when I do snacks. Um,
And no one was
so
hurt in the
there's
process, so we can look back
no,
and laugh.
no, yeah, there was no like big thuds or anything during any of my videos of any living things getting ran over. So
That's right. Snack dangerously, says Nufu. Absolutely.
right,
Living on the edge. And so,
yep,
yeah, so you were eating Canadian snacks there, right? And then I think in that video you made mention of New Zealand also. But I know
yep.
in other videos I've seen you eating like Hong Kong snacks, snacks from all over the globe. How do you get these?
Yeah, so through Twitch I actually met quite a few Canadians. I think just since
There's a
like
lot of
Alberta's like
Canadians on Twitch.
yeah. So like the MST, I'm in CST, so we're like only an hour apart. So they're online around the same time I am anyways. So I got to just coincidentally got to meet them and found out they know each other in real life and how big of a place Canada is, and yet how small of a world it is that everybody is aware of each other. But so I have had snacks from them. I also get mail order snacks, whether it be subscription or like my sister will send me some from Mexico and stuff. She works with a lot of people from Mexico.
You know, this brings to mind last week's interview actually with Dr. Booty Quiver. He's in Canada, and he mentioned to me that according to statistics, Canada consumes almost as many chips as the United States, with a population that's like a fraction of our population. It's a very
That's a
chip
feat.
heavy
Yeah,
country,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's a good feat.
Our
And
snack.
I do enjoy their ketchup chips and all
Ooh,
dressed chips. Those are something if you just want to get into trying snacks from other places. Um, they're usually uh, fairly accessible to get. Sometimes, like America did do um, Lay's all dressed chips. I don't know if they've done ketchup chips or not, but they're fairly accessible to get into, and they're um, interesting enough to make you want to try them. And you might be surprised if you like them,
I
or you might be surprised if you don't like them, I should say.
I mentioned like designer flavors. There's been a huge like flavor proliferation, right? Like there are really crazy flavors out there in chips at this point.
Oh yeah, Lay's has the submissions. I remember getting on their website with a friend of mine and like submitting all these submissions. Most of them were obviously jokes, like you could like burnt ashes or like dead babies thing. Obviously out of pure joking, but some people have submitted some serious ones, and they have winners every now and again. Um, my favorite chip that has come from that crowd, you know,
The crowdsourced
the
flavorings. Yeah.
crowdsourcing is currently not in production, but it's wasabi ginger.
Ooh,
So if
yeah,
you are a fan of just that sushi,
yeah.
wasabi ginger, it doesn't taste like sushi. It's just potato chips with wasabi and ginger, and it's perfect. I
That's
can't say enough good things
that's
about
how
that
I
one.
eat sushi. I put, some wasabi in the soy sauce and dip the sushi in it. Oh, I love it.
Yep.
Awesome, man. And like, yeah, what about like favorite like forms of snacks? Like I see chips a lot on stream, but then like I mean, is
Yep.
that your go-to chips all the time?
Usually chips are the easiest to find, and they're always making, like, to your point, they're always making new flavors of chips and things like that. Um I like um kind of like I think Gargettos or like those types of things.
Yeah,
I like where it's kind of a mix. I
snack
really
mix.
love when companies try to do like a sweet salty thing. Um I like that kind of stuff a lot. Um I remember when Munchies first came out from the Dorito brand, and like me and my friends, we were playing Dungeons and Dragons way back when, and we would we would mix those together before they even came out, and I was like, someone must have been a fly on the wall for that,
Brilliant.
because we enjoyed it then. So
What I find with the munchies, I like a couple of the flavors and then a couple like just totally clash. It's like, wow, that's a little crazy. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I think whatever the standard like munchies flavor is, that's some good stuff.
Hmm.
But how do you feel about baked goods?
um
Do you like a cookie?
I do like a cookie. I do like a cookie.
Hmm.
Famous Amos is pretty good. They have some good cookies. Chips Ahoy, I only really like the chewy ones. um but home baked snacks are great too.
I just
I've made
baked.
my own like granola and stuff before, my own
Oh yeah,
granola bars
nice.
and things like that.
I made banana everything cookies.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty good. I'll email you one after this.
Yeah,
S-
that sounds good. I think in chat earlier, just mentioned about maple cookies, or maybe
Oh,
maybe I'm
Maple
thinking of
Donuts. That was during Attack of the
maple
Donuts.
donuts.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite often, if I enter a chat, someone sees my name and they're like, I just take over. Not me personally, but they see my name and then they want to talk about snacks. So it's like I'm in. Like, that's how I know I'm welcome, of course. But um, yeah, I just had a Canadian maple syrup from Quebec for the first time,
Woo!
and my wife turned to me, and I was looked at her at the same time as like, these would make awesome maple cookies. Like,
Amazing.
I know um Crack Mother isn't a fan of
Yeah.
maple, but that's okay for the rest of us. Maple cookies, I'm telling you.
I like a
It's
good
not
maple
as
syrup.
Yeah, it's not as sweet as you would think. America definitely puts in those high fructose, and you know, however we can stretch it to make the most money, I think, and pile the most sugar in it. But
Yeah, like
it's legit.
there's a big difference too, right, between the like dark and the light maple syrup. Like
Yep.
one's more like woody or like mapley, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would say that at least from my taste buds, it leaned more towards that of the Quebec maple syrup.
And
It's
so
more kind of.
what inspired you? We talked about like the start of your snack reviews in general, but what inspired you to get on Twitch specifically with it?
Yep. So nothing to do with snacks. I ended up on Twitch because there's an artist out of California. His name's Alex Pardee, and he would watch movies similar to like what you do in your channel, and he would do his art. So he's into horror movies primarily, and
Hell yeah.
his art is like cute mixed with horror. I know he did a few album covers too. Um, I want to say he did like Oh, the music video with the square head guy.
I haven't
There's
seen it. I'm gonna have to check that out though.
yeah,
The Used.
it's kind of like a Tim Burton looking,
Oh,
almost
nice. Yeah. Yeah.
claymation type looking thing. He did that for on commission
Oh,
and
cool.
stuff. But
And so
anyway,
that
so I
was
came
your
to Twitch because of that.
that was your inspiration to get on. Awesome. Yeah.
Yep. And
And
then I found out people don't just play video games on here. I was already doing retro video games, snack reviews, and I think at the time I was playing World of Warcraft on Facebook Live.
oh,
So
okay.
I had a schedule on Facebook. So I started doing live streams, interacting with people there. And then I went to Comic Con or Video Game Con in Austin. And I did that live and showed all the video games and stuff there. But yeah, it wasn't until, maybe a year and a half ago, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this and
Nice.
switch to Twitch.
Yeah, and so we're gonna get to the retro gaming too. I really enjoy it myself. And but I have pulled up a clip from YouTube of you doing a snack review also. So,
Nice.
multi-generational, multi-platform snack reviews. We're gonna check one out.
All right.
Hey Snackers, today on Snackman we are reviewing the limited edition Star Wars Pop Chips Crazy Hot Flavor. The dark side of snacking. It says they're first order approved. Let's open these up and see what we got here. Kind of hard to open. Okay. Alright, let's see if they're crazy hot. They are popped potato snacks.
Ooh, pops. Pops.
Alright, here we go.
1, 2, 3.
Kind of bland. I haven't had any of the other kind of pop chips. They're not really that spicy. I would not say crazy hot. It could be just a ploy because Star Wars is, out and came out this weekend. Almost like popcorn. But they're not flavorful, really. I'd give these a C minus. See you next time.
Something about the negative reviews. I just had to include them. So like on this one, right? Like I'm a big spicy fan, right? And so I totally know what you mean when something says it's going to be super hot and it's just not there. Got to give it a C.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the worst. When you're expecting something spicy and it's not, I feel like restaurants are really picky about that, right? Because they say it's so hot. Unless you go to like
Thai food or something like that.
yeah, like Thai food is a great example where it's like if it says one little fire pepper for that, your nose will be running, and then it just kind of steps up from there. For snacks, it's similar. I feel like some snacks, it's just like they say hot and they mean hot, but there's a lot of disappointment when it comes to hot snacks.
That widely commercially available stuff, they're just like covering their ass. They're like, we can't really make this hot.
Right. Yeah, they play it on the safe, like especially with restaurants too. They usually say something is hot and it's not. Or there's just no flavor. If there's like, in my opinion, if there's like a snack and it's hot just for the fact of heat, unless that's what they're proclaiming on their bag, like they might say like hottest snack around or whatever. I did a Carolina Reaper one, the
Ooh.
one chip challenge, which is on my YouTube too. But yeah, that I feel like they've dumbed down over the years to make it widely accessible. Mine was from like 4 years ago, I think, and it's just kind of like right when we were discovering Carolina Reapers
I
were no
remember that.
joke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they became popular all of a sudden. Yep.
yep. And then so they want to make it more accessible, but uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Morgan Grace
unless
says,
they're advertising for it to be like this is the hottest thing around, give some flavor in there. You know what I mean? You don't do
seriously,
the one hot chip challenge because it tastes good. You do it because
because
you want to show you can.
you want to punish yourself.
Yeah,
No,
you'll
so
see that a lot on my channel too. Like if I'm like, oh god, this is horrible, and I'll just keep going back for it because I either don't learn or I like to punish myself.
never learn. No,
Yeah,
so Morgan Grace says because some old lady will sue them for being too hot. Exactly. You can't
you're
get
not
away with
wrong.
it. Yeah. And so yeah, what about more reviews on YouTube? Is it now all Twitch? Like is it all migrated to Twitch at this point?
Um, right now it is. Yep. So I think the safe answer is yes. YouTube's still a thing.
Yeah.
It people still go there. My son does YouTube stuff, and he's like far grown my reach as far as YouTube goes, and
Well, that's
and
cool.
I feel like YouTube, the voices, you know, the little birdie in on your shoulder always says like it's too late for YouTube. Like you're only going to get seen if you were one of the originals or like within the first 2-3 years, and like since then the algorithm since buried you. You're never going to be found. Don't worry about it. i
Yeah.
love I've learned to love the Twitch reviews because you get feedback, or you're like, hey, it's kind of like more um bringing back that kind of van, driving in a van, like talking to my wife about the snacks and getting kind of some pre and post feed, commentary on it. So I kind of like that. On YouTube, they're just boom, like 1 minute, no edits. Like they've always been like that. So if I were to do the YouTube ones again, which I plan on eventually doing editing, I'm just uh not into that at the moment. Spending my time editing.
Oh, I
So
feel you.
they could end up on YouTube, but the ones that are on Twitch, I'm pretty good about saving them. And the Facebook ones, a few of them are up on YouTube as well. So the Facebook ones will probably be the first to go on to YouTube because there's no editing needed. It was still 1 minute videos and no real interaction.
Yeah, I feel you. Like Twitch is like instant content creation. It happens in real time. And also YouTube at this point, it just feels like you're throwing it down a hole sometimes, right? But it
Yeah.
stays around forever, I guess, is the advantage of it.
Yeah. And I could see uh doing live on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure Twitch doesn't like that when you stream on multiple platforms. So I think half of it is me not wanting to learn how to do live on YouTube with, hey, it just disappears, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the interaction that you have on Twitch is like it grows and it becomes a bigger thing. Just you learn about the people that are watching you. I don't feel like YouTube is really about that. It's all in the comments.
It's like hanging out with friends. And so I appreciate you being in the chat on my channel too. Like hanging out with you in the chat and like checking out your stream too. And I was hoping you could bring some of the magic from your stream over here tonight and maybe we could get a live snack review. What do you think?
Yes,
Awesome,
I'm
man.
ready. I'm ready. I'm super prepared for this. If you
Hell
guys
yeah,
wouldn't mind,
let's
I'll just
go.
hop into it. So, these are actually from my friend in Canada, but they are not Canada snacks. These ones are made in Mexico, thus the multi-language here, but they're sour, big, chewy nerds. It looks like they have sweet and crunchy is what they're advertising on this.
Sweet and crunchy.
And so there's like a center of the universe inside of each one of these. It looks like.
I love that.
So we'll find out. I mean, I've had the ropes.
I was actually going to say,
had the nerd rope?
I have had the nerd ropes myself, and Crack Mother has as well. I can vouch for her.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a live snack run last month or a month before. These smell pretty bad.
Oh no.
They're like, I don't know. They don't smell like sweet or anything like that.
That's bad when a nerd smells bad.
Yeah, it's like they found them under like a church pew.
Oh,
Like
no.
they've been sitting there a while. But I think these are not expired, so we'll see. We'll see how they go. They definitely have the crunch. Not very sour, at least not right away. They almost taste sweet on the outside. I'm wondering. It's supposed to be sour and chewy on the inside, so sweet and crunchy on the outside. You have a look-see, maybe. Not really.
What if you post a pic in the Discord after this?
Yeah.
We've got plenty of
happy
snack
to.
talk on the Discord already, so.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah,
other thing I'm noticing too is they kind of taste the same. Like there's different colors here, but
it's all an illusion.
mhm.
Yeah, and sour is a bit like spicy as well. Hey, what's up, Bootsy Bug? Good to see you. And yeah, so sour is a lot like spicy to me, where they're gonna claim that this is a very sour candy, and it's not going to be.
Yeah. Comparing to Sour Patch, if Sour Patch was like a 4 or 5 on a 5 scale, these would be like a 1. They're
Ouch.
not really sour. So in my videos I rate them, I give them a letter, kind of like the old grading school of, F being a failure, A being great. Would I get these again? I don't think so. I probably will have to share out this bag, so if anyone wants
That's
some, you
quite a
can certainly
large
have them.
bag.
But I don't foresee myself eating the rest of this bag, to be honest.
Snack fail.
Yeah, I would say it was a snack fail. I do like nerds. Maybe it's fair to say that with nerds, I think you can't beat the original recipe. I love the different flavors, which this doesn't really give. And I love just it being sugar. You know what I mean? Just
absolutely.
just clumps of sugar. I'm gonna give this I'm gonna give it a D, just because when it says sour, I feel like it should at least give you the pucker. You know what I mean? Like just a little bit of of that, and it doesn't do that at all.
There you go,
It's
everyone.
sweet, I guess. Like if I was watching a movie and I had some other snacks, I would still pop a few and then eat some popcorn, but just to get through them. So
Just to get
that's my
through.
verdict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, well now I know, and I don't think I'm gonna buy those next time I see them. So I
Go for
appreciate
the
that.
ropes.
Yeah.
The ropes are good. The ropes
do
aren't
like
that
ropes.
bad.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I like nerds too, and then the ropes have this nice texture to it. Like when you bite into it, it's like it's not all crunch; it's that chew. Also, yeah, it's nice.
Big.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best thing about this bag, I would say, is it had the little tab to tear. I really,
That's
yeah,
the
right.
highest praise. Yeah.
There was no. If I would have had to fight to get into those, I probably would have given them a failing rating or D minus.
So the packaging matters. I get that. That's for sure.
It does. Yeah, I've had some things that it's like I need scissors pretty much to open it, and that's never a good sign because
No.
snacks are meant to be carried with you. You sneak them in. Well, maybe you don't sneak them into a movie, but I've known people that have, and I may have from time to time. But yeah, like I mean,
Kids, don't try that at
throw
home.
them in the car for a road trip, or pick them up during your road trip. And yeah, so if you can't just open them while kind of multitasking, it's probably not a good indicator.
Well, opening them while multitasking, I think, is a decent enough segue into the next one. And I appreciate that. That was awesome, by the way. OGSnackman, snack review, live on CIVIC TV. And that's like, it's part of your snack review proliferation onto different platforms, you know? You're on your own Twitch channel, you're on my Twitch channel. You also have done an animated snack review in the past.
I did.
And that's what we're going to watch right now. All right, let's check it out.
Let's do that.
Today I am taste testing spicy buffalo zing combos, big snacks. Alright. This is episode 1 of Eating on Grand. Taste test number 1. Alright, the texture is about the same as all the other combos. This is the pretzel variety, as you can see. It looks like the insides are the same color as like maybe the pizza ones or the other kind of cheese ones. So here we go. Crunchy. I can taste the buffalo flavor. I would say after the first one, it's mild, not really spicy at all. I like spicy things, so I'm going to have another just to be sure. But the pretzels are awesome. The pretzels definitely intensify, or the cheesy spiciness. Zing does intensify the more you eat, the more you put in your mouth. So that is a plus. Would I recommend these? Absolutely. As far as this goes, I give it a B plus.
Love it. And that reminds me of like old school Flash animation, you know, like Homestar Runner era like animation online.
That was probably an influence in there somewhere, because that's when I realized that, hey, you know, there's the tools to do it on your own.
Yes.
And if the content's all right, then you'll watch it.
And so was that like an you said like you know, Snacks on Grand, like episode 1, was that an adaptation of like the live video that you posted from there?
That was yes, it was. It was the first episode. It was even called Eating on Grand before I named it Snacks on Grand. So
love it.
Yeah. But yeah, I took the video. You can even watch. I think that's the first one on the playlist too on the channel. There of the first 20.
Hey, and by the way, everyone, exclamation mark OG in the chat will pull up all of the social links, and you get the YouTube on there and all the other things we're going to be talking about. And yeah, so cool. And you've done other animation besides the snack review animation.
Yes, I have.
And we're going to watch one right now and then talk about it after. Let's check it out.
All right.
We're
That's downright surreal. Very cool. And
Thank
so
you.
there was some music playing over that. Tell me more about this song we were listening to.
Okay, so that's a song. It's called "Pajamas in Public." I wrote that for my second album.
Nice.
Uh, the band The Sleepover is a band that I created about 5 years ago when my friend and I were in between projects, and I never got to be in a band with him because I was on the punk rock psychedelic kind of local scene circuit in the Midwest, and then he was in the metal circuit. So um, basically, that album has two guys that were in that metal band, the drummer and the bass player, and then I'm on vocals and play guitar.
You could hear that influence on the drums, that's for sure. Yeah. And so that was
Yeah,
you singing too. Yeah, and you wrote the
yeah,
song.
yep,
And the album was called Pajamas in Public. Is that right? That one is the
that's right. Yep.
yes, awesome. That's super cool. And I really enjoy the song too. Cool to know that you wrote it. And where can people find it at this point online?
Yeah, so you can find that album on Bandcamp. It's just sleepover.bandcamp.com. I had it on Spotify, but I'm switching like who the distributor is on it. So it'll be back on Spotify soon enough. I'll probably do that when we release our single for the third album yet to be named. But
Awesome.
the singles "Me and the Boys" is what it's called, and that's going to be coming out in March
You
sometime.
you essentially answered my next question. More to come, right? That's awesome. So you're still
Yeah.
making music.
Yep, and that animation video that took probably about 2.5, 3 months because I didn't know how to make 3D animation,
Right.
and uh, pretty much up through the second album, I wore all the hats, the writing, you know, putting it out on my own dollar, and making the music videos and things like that, and um, getting the state fair booked and all that stuff, and
Oh, that's
planning
cool.
trips to play out of state and all that stuff. So since then, I got another guitar player who plays on that last album. So we have two guitar players, myself and him, and I've given up or shared some of those hats. So
Okay.
going forward on this third album, why it's such a big deal is I have an amazing lead player, and also has his own band called Three Finger Betty. Also find it threefingerbetty.bandcamp.com. But anyways, so he's been doing it about as long as I have, and so it's good to kind of be able to kind of bring in as many people that are interested in it. The third album's about, or is going to be about, more inclusiveness. Pajamas in Public, the last album, was about kind of figuring out who you were. The first album has lots of genres mixed together, all punk rock in there, but there's a lot of different things. So the second album was more like start to finish, encompassing what we are really.
That's
So
sick, man. And so, man, I'm really glad to hear you're still playing together. You know, so many bands, so many musicians have taken major hit recently and over the past
yeah.
couple years. And like just love to hear that. And like you're recording and are you planning live shows? Will that like follow the album?
Yeah, so the last show we played was um Halloween,
Oh,
and
nice. Yes.
I did put that on Twitch as well, or I did. I don't know if it fell off because I don't think I was affiliate at that time, but yeah. So I tried that, and that worked okay because uh to do that kind of live, because of that specific venue has good internet,
Oh, yeah.
and my cell
Nice.
service isn't good enough for that.
Yep.
Audio's okay, but the next shows that we're going to be playing live is going to be April 4th. So we'll be kind of debuting
Killer.
that at the same time, or
That's
around
awesome.
the same time. So
And I have a clip pulled of a live performance by The Sleepover. And
oh, perfect.
let's talk about it after. Yeah.
Thank you, Yacht Club. We're from Des Moines, Iowa. We're a band called The Sleepover.
Slow traffic, right? Hell yeah. That was cool.
That's right.
And so has the lineup you mentioned, has the lineup changed since that clip? Is that right?
Yeah, so that is the second guitar player. This was the last show before COVID. And the bass player had changed too. There was no bass player in that particular show. But yeah, so the lineup as it stands right now is there's Clint on drums, John on second guitar, myself, and Landy on bass. And Landy I've known from a prior job that I worked with him a long time ago, which most of the songs off the first album are about.
Oh
So
wow.
when you're talking about no customer service, there's a song on there called that. Um, Pretty much crappy jobs, office jobs and stuff. That fueled the first album
That'll inspire
completely.
some punk rock, right? Hell yeah. And
It absolutely does.
I'm
Uh,
excited to hear what you guys are going to come out with. Definitely make sure to, keep me updated on that as we go forward.
oh yeah,
Like, that's going to be super cool. Like, I love it. And Morgan Gray's TV says that was great.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I have the first. I have I green screened what I could for the song that I don't have the song for yet.
Okay.
So it's I need to put that together and create a video, but the video will be out for me and the boys at the same time. And we were
Awesome.
talking about like bands not being around anymore. Venues took a huge hit as well,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and uh, and in turn, a lot of it is because they can't they couldn't find ways to make money. In the case of my town, there was the best entry level to mid-size venue had closed because the grant money stopped, because they weren't open, so they didn't get the grant money. So they were like kind of a historical thing, and space is still open. You know what I mean? But
Sucky.
that place is closed and reopened now as like a barcade, but they don't do music at that one. And we had another barcade like closed down a few hours away from here too. But I feel like those are hurting too in this, because
Yeah.
people are playing games online, and the retro or the arcade games and stuff are kind of fallen to the side as well.
Man, I love a good arcade game.
Hmm.
And you're so right about venues taking a hit. I hear that over and over. And like, I mean, honestly, I haven't been going out to live music, so like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, and it seems like, you know, certain places are going to get affected a lot more than others,
Yeah.
and it's tough, man. And I'm just, again, I'm really glad you guys are still playing and still planning. That's huge. I love that.
Yeah. And the thing is there's less bands, so I mean, people should continue to make music, and if they're interested in playing live, consider it. I mean, obviously be safe about it, and keep keep your ear to like what's real, and kind of filter it out.
That's right.
But you can like venues, at least in in the Midwest, around the area where I live, like people will, if I found people that uh want they want bands, they may or may not know how to book a successful show anymore, but you're the one that knows who's left out of all of it, like who's risen from the ashes. And they know, and the music, because they've been out of it for so long. So if you're willing to book the show, you may actually be able to have more leeway on how you want things to be charged. So it can really benefit you as a local band if you're willing to play the shows.
That
I think over the safer months of the last year or so, like where vaccines were available and things like that, um we've probably made the most money in shows, like from even including before and playing the fair and all that stuff. So it's feasible, maybe not to be your only source of income,
sure.
but it is worth at least looking into. I would love to travel and play shows again, uh once it becomes I guess um big enough to do so, I suppose.
That's a really cool perspective on that, and I hope that was like inspirational to other people because I'm feeling that. Like, go out and do it, and like do it
Yep.
safe, do it smart, but people want it, and so there's a demand for it. So bring it to the people, right?
Yeah, and punk rock's great right now. I mean, some, it it may seem like it's dead, but like the fact of the matter is venues have closed down. So you improvise and you play more house shows. You play more. We played a show in a refrigerator warehouse,
Oh, nice.
like in the last year, with a band from Chicago that you would never think they would come and play a basement show or play uh, a show in a warehouse where there's like a guy that has a PA that's decent, a guy that wants to run lights that's decent, and everybody's looking out for each other. So it's cool. I mean, and people respect that you have a ways to drive. So, I mean, they sold tons of merch, so
Awesome,
it,
man. I'd love to
it can
check out a
work. It can
show.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, keep me informed for sure. That's
Sure.
awesome, man.
Yep.
And so you play music on stream also.
Yes.
And
Yep. Go ahead.
well, so I was gonna show a clip, and then we could talk about it more. But you play more than one style of music on stream.
I do.
Let's
Yep.
check out a little something. Yeah, love that. I love that you're into that, like getting that type of aesthetic. That was a really cool sound you're getting out of that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Brutal. Um,
Yes.
really full sound. That was cool. And like I love that you're into like, using the technology to get that type of aesthetic. Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest challenge for musicians is the technology, especially if you're like, uh, if you didn't start on computers making music. I know I started with electronic music by using like software, and I was like, man, I hate this. This is the worst thing ever. And I assumed I didn't like making electronic music because of that. And then to find out, like the first band I was in, I got used like my keyboard background, and I was playing like psychedelic rock, that kind of thing. But in in my spare time, I would be making electronic music with like actual physical hardware, kind of
Hell yeah.
like Octanode does, and he hooks things together. I think he's uses it like a sequencer on his iPad, but for the most part, it's all just connected wires, and it's just very it's a very organic approach to making that
Heck
kind of
yeah.
music. But
The hardware approach, no DAW, right? No
No
digital
DAW.
audio workstation, right? And
yep, exactly.
it's cool. Like I just found out recently that you're into synth. That's way badass, and I'm getting into it myself. And like I wanted to share a little clip of that. Actually, let's go in. And so, for someone who doesn't know what was going on in that clip, could you like explain your setup a little bit there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in that, I have a fairly simple setup where um, there's a sampler that's in front of me, that small little thing where I turn the knobs and stuff, that has different preloaded things. You can load in your own like voices or whatever you want to do and stretch them or move them, kind of treat them like silly putty, which is what I like to do. That's the best way I like to describe my approach towards samplers, is imagining it like silly putty and making it into something that hasn't been heard before.
Mold
And that
it
I'm
and
using
shape it.
yeah, in that one and a lot of my music too, I use like kind of 808, kind of old school, kind of rap almost sounds of like claps and things like that. But that's connected to a Dave Smith Pro 3, which is just, it's a sequence keyboard, and I'm using that as my clock. So it basically it makes sure the other guy stays in line. So it's like, instead of having a whole band playing music, someone playing bass, someone singing, someone doing this and that and the other, the approach with the DAW list or whatever, or without using the computer, with the exception of just inputting it into Twitch, right? Is to treat it like this person's playing the melodies, this unit, and then this other box is doing maybe the vocalization through samples or whatever. So a lot of in this setup, there's 2 boxes. I've sometimes hook up 3, and I think I have done 4 before, but I try to keep it simpler so that I'm forced by my limitations and try to do more of the putty type
I like that. Yeah, imposing
sculpting, I
limitations on
guess.
it to like bring out the creativity. Very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
And I really like that sound you were getting. Very neat. Into it.
Yeah.
And I know we have some appreciators in the chat too. Chumslick, Octanode, both musicians, both doing in the similar realm. And
yeah, great musicians. I love I haven't checked out Chumslick yet, but I'm gonna drop a follow right now. But
heck yeah.
Octanode does some really cool stuff. Definitely check him out.
And so do you ever watch like Synthfest on stream? It's this whole thing.
But it sounds like something I should do.
It's organized by the Golden Shrimp Guild, and yeah, so they like make the whole raid train happen for like, I don't know, someone could correct me if I'm wrong. I think 24 hours. 24 hours of synth raid train. Like,
yep, I've heard of it.
I highly recommend it. Check it out, definitely.
Yeah. There's a guy that does live looping. He's like a multi-instrumentalist. More, I would say like, Future Fantasy would love checking this guy out if he doesn't know him. It's Targus Sounds.
Oh yeah,
Targus Songs.
Targus Songs. Yep.
Yeah. And he's been a big inspiration. A lot of Twitch people have been a big inspiration. Like hey, you can there's an audience for this. Because I think part of the thing with music is like, I don't know if anyone would watch this, or I don't know if anyone would do this. The fact is, everybody likes all types of music,
Very
from
true.
for different, at different avenues of their life, So, um,
So crap, man.
looping amazes me how people can, without having a computer or a synthesizer, like setting that tempo or whatever. It's an art, like in itself, and Targus is a looper that I admire for that kind of stuff. I know there's better loopers out now that kind of make that a little bit more easier accessible, but I've tried to do looping with guitar and stuff like that, and very limited with my knowledge of getting things just where I'm happy enough to share it with people.
So Octonode says that Synthfest has been up to 3 days, and then Chumpslick says the upcoming fest is 5 days long. Woo! And so there's a huge community out there, right? That's part of what that means.
I would
Yeah.
say it's massively growing. And
Very
that's
cool.
awesome. That's awesome to hear.
And so, man, great talking to you about that. I want to loop back to something that we talked about way earlier, retro gaming, right? Because
Yep.
that's like, I mean, that completes the picture. You do a lot on stream. I would say a variety streamer, and one of those things is retro gaming. And I have a really fun clip to share from that. Let's check it
Oh,
out.
good. I can't wait to check out which one it is. Boop, boop. Or the picture gives you what you could probably expect.
Yeah, you might have noticed the audio didn't come through. My bad, but yeah, exactly what he said. You get the idea, and I love the outfit. I love it, man, and I love your taste and all the stuff you do. But I wanted to share a little something with you at this point after watching that clip. Check this out. 1 second. Ta-da! Can you see that on the screen on stream?
Yes, that's awesome.
That's my tribute to
That's
OG
me.
Snackman. That's right.
That's so cool.
OG Snackman as Zelda as a pixel loop animation.
Awesome.
And so cool, man. I'm going to be able to give this file to you and totally go crazy with it. Do whatever you want with that. That's my gift to you.
Awesome. I love it. I
Heck
love
yeah.
pixel art. That's so cool.
Awesome, man. Yeah. And whoa. That blinked. Thank you, OBS, for not doing the animation correctly. No, yeah. And so I've been trying to do that more and more. It's something I really enjoy. I'm glad you enjoy it too. Hell yeah.
Big time.
And we talked about this before, but we're going to be going back into a movie, snack related, snack themed, as it were. So you picked out Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Good choice again, by the way.
I did.
And if you would, could you sort of tee it up for us and let the people know what they're about to see in Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
It would be best to read the back of the box, but yeah. So you've got clowns. They're from outer space, and they will wrap you up in cotton candy. And
Wrap
eat
you
your-
up in cotton candy.
Yeah,
And
and
so
it's not in a sexual way. In a you're gonna die kind of way.
you're gonna die by clown.
Mm-hmm.
And so, trigger warning if anyone out there has a real clown problem, you're about to get a whole bunch of clown in your face.
Or diabetes, you might want to
That's right.
get it. Get your insulin shots ready.
So, OG, man, I really appreciate you. Thanks for being here, and thanks for taking part. And I'll be sending that file over after the stream.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's do it again sometime. I
Enjoy the
appreciate
movie.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I'll be in chat. Thanks, man.